Pulls up three-pointer. Bang! Bang! It's good! Wins the game at the buzzer!
Well, well, well. Looks like we're back here with an emergency pod for you guys out there. Chance, what did I just see come across my phone?
Man, Kyrie being Kyrie, you know how it goes. The Nets cannot stay out of drama. The NBA cannot stay out. There's that famous meme, the NBA has gone 0 days without unnecessary drama. It just always happens. A week before the trade deadline, and we've got this bombshell. You want to fill everybody up to speed, Zach, for those that haven't heard yet?
Yeah, so to our listeners out there who have been doing normal things like working throughout the day and haven't had your phone on you in case you haven't seen, according to reports by Adrian Wojnarowski and Shams Charania, Kyrie Irving has asked for a trade from the Brooklyn Nets. Not for the first time. I might remind you, this is the second time he's asked for a trade, and this time it's probably going to get done. If you remember earlier this season, the Nets were looking to move him, but then they had not really too many offers out there, and they just decided to run things back with him and KD. They fired Steve Nash, promoted Jacques Vaughn to full-time head coach, and they went on a winning streak. Then KD gets hurt. And then they've struggled a little bit in the absence of his of KD's injury, getting beat down most recently by the Boston Celtics. And now KD is in limbo. We don't know what's going to happen with KD. How does he react? Uh, uh, and which teams are going to take Kyrie? So that's just kind of what we're going to hop on here today and just kind of and chop that up. So, Chance, what was your first thought whenever you saw that tweet come across your phone?
Honestly, you can't even be surprised anymore when you see Shams and Woj reporting about Kyrie and some drama. And it's crazy because it was just last week that they made the announcement that they're working together on an extension. And Kyrie basically said he's committed to the Nets long term as long as the Nets are the same. And as the once great Kanye West once said, it was all good just a week ago. No longer. All of a sudden, Kyrie's requesting a trade. And so honestly, my initial hot take on this, I think Kyrie might not even get traded. So you remember like back in high school and back in college when, you know, those couples that just always break up and it lasts like a week or two. And the next thing you know, they're posting pictures again together and they're like, oh yeah, we worked it out. Like it's fine. You knew some people
Yeah.
like that, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm starting to think the Nets might be that couple. So you had KD requesting the trade over the summer and it looked like, you know, all these teams are throwing first round picks and they're like, you know what? No, we worked it out. We're all good. Kyrie, same thing. And now Kyrie, it sounds like it's another situation where they're working together on a contract extension. They put a couple stipulations, as they call it, which probably basically just means like no conspiracy theories, you know, try to be normal for, you know, the length of your extension. Kyrie didn't like that, so he requested a trade. I think that this is just him being upset, getting emotional, like, you know what, whatever, trade me. I'm requesting a trade. And then they're going to nurture him back. They're going to be like, no, Kyrie, keep tweeting whatever you want. I'm sorry. Everything's going to be all good. And my hot take is I don't even know if he gets moved. I think this might all just be a big splash, bargaining powers, and just Kyrie being Kyrie again. And next thing you know, we get a week from now and he's back on the Nets. What do you think?
And see, I 100% disagree.
You think so?
So if you look at the reports, the three teams that are already interested in Kyrie are the Los Angeles Lakers, Phoenix Suns, and Dallas
Yeah,
Mavericks.
I saw that just come up.
What do all of those teams have in common? They're all desperate.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They're all looking for. If you look at the standings between the West and with the Grizzlies losing some games now, basically 2 through all the way to 13th is only separated by like a couple of games, right?
Yeah, it's
like
pretty
you
wild.
you could be second seed one day and 10th seed the next day right now, depending on these games. So I look at it with all of those teams. All of them are desperate. Starting with the Lakers. The Lakers just made a trade for Rui Hachimura, which I think was a great trade by the Lakers.
Yeah, he's looked good for them so far.
I think they're able to go out and get a young piece that's ready to play right now, and that can really flourish in a role where he's not forced to have to be. Nobody's expecting him to go out there and be a star. They've got two of those in LeBron James and Anthony Davis. They just need him to be a third, fourth, fifth best option kind of player. Now they still got those 2 first-round picks because they didn't trade them. Now, if Brooklyn knows that Kyrie is not going to re-sign with them in the offseason, no matter what, they're going to trade him for whatever they can trade him for. And then you seriously start talking about the Lakers. The Lakers are going to go in all in to get somebody next to LeBron, so LeBron can basically go for it again in his twilight years, right? So I definitely see LA being willing to give up those 2 first round draft picks in the future. Second, the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns, Chris Paul has not looked great this year.
Nope.
And it's been rumblings about what they're going to do with him. The only thing I'm curious about is what is Phoenix willing to give up to go get basically a rental player right now, because Kyrie is on the last year of his deal before you're going to have to re-sign him. So I'm interested to see what they're willing to give up, and then also with the Dallas Mavericks. Dallas Mavericks are desperate too. Luka's been frustrated out there on the court playing with, especially with Christian Wood being out of the lineup with the thumb injury the past few weeks. Are the Dallas Mavericks willing to go in and make a trade? I doubt that the Mavs are going to trade their 2 first round draft picks. But if the Nets are like, hey, look, we don't want to completely give up this season, maybe the Mavs could put something together that allows Kevin Durant to come back and he's still got some pieces around him, like a Christian Wood, Tim Hardaway Jr. Type pieces, and maybe like a young piece in Jaden Hardy or something like that. So I'm interested to see what Brooklyn wants. Do they want draft picks, or do they want people that are going to play right now and help us win?
Yeah,
so I see this deal getting done.
I still think it could get done. That is just a situation where I would not be surprised if we get past the trade deadline and nothing happened, just because the Nets are going to Nets. You never know what's going to happen with them. If let's assume that there is a deal that does get done, I do think the Suns really, to me, have the most assets to make a move like this. So you would think that Chris Paul would probably be involved in a deal like this and basically swap those 2 plus assets. But the Suns, for one, unlike the Mavs and unlike the Lakers, they actually own all of their picks in the immediate future. So they could do picks like on the short term, whereas the Mavs, they have that pick locked up in New York for a couple years. Most likely it's going to convey this year, but for now they can't really trade until, a couple years from now. Same with the Lakers. We know their story. They can't make any trades until 27 and 29. So the Suns, they could make more picks now, and Cam Johnson is another trade piece, a good young player, good young wing that could help them out. Could they do a Chris Paul, Cam Johnson, and maybe 1 or 2 first-round picks? When you go to the Mavs, I'm with you. I think the Nets still want to win now. I don't see them just wanting draft picks. And I love you, but the Mavs just don't have a ton of talent that I think is attractive for a team like the Nets. I mean, Christian Wood possibly, but I think it would take more than that. So I think the Suns have the most assets. Does Monty Williams want to deal with a Kyrie Irving, DeAndre Ayton duo that you never know what you're going to get there? That's another situation. They do have the Jay Crowder plug that could play as well. That could be involved. So I think the Suns have the most assets. The Lakers, I'm not. Obviously, he wants to play with LeBron. LeBron would love to have him. I'm not sold on that one. I don't know if the Nets want to just sell off Kyrie for 2 first-round picks from 5 years from now when they're trying to win now. If they're making that move, I think KD's on the move as well, and they're just going to completely all-out rebuild. So I think that could, determine what happens from there. But my gut reaction would say the Suns make the most sense. But what makes the most sense doesn't usually happen in the NBA, so you never know.
Well, and a lot of it just depends on, I think it all's going to come down to how much are these teams going to be willing to go all in on someone that you're only going to have for right now 1 year, unless you can get them on a sign and trade where the Nets extend them and then they trade them, right?
Yeah, I don't think any team trades for him unless they get commitment that he's re-signing, right? If you're Phoenix or if you're Dallas, obviously he'll re-sign in LA, but if you're one of those 2 teams, you don't make the move unless you have it from him and his agent, I'll re-sign there. There's just no way you give up capital for half a season of Kyrie, right?
Yeah. That's exactly it. And so it's a lot of different factors in here. It's is Kyrie want to go there? Because that is going to be a big piece. Is he comfortable in going to LA? Is he comfortable going to Phoenix? And is he comfortable going to Dallas? I think moving forward, that's something that we're going to keep an eye on.
Did you see what he tweeted an hour before the news broke? I just saw this before we hopped on.
What did he tweet?
So this was at 12:01. So yeah, an hour and a half or so before the news broke. He tweeted, "To my peers, just be yourself and grow. Keep people around who celebrate you unconditionally and appreciate all of the hard work that gets put in. Distance yourself from the folks who manipulate, hate, and hurt. So he tweets that right before the news broke. So I don't know. I
Yeah.
guess he wants to distance himself from the Nets who manipulate, hate, and hurt. And he wants to go to a team that celebrates him unconditionally and appreciates all the hard work that he puts in. So is Dallas willing to appreciate the hard work he puts in?
Yeah, man. And and it's funny because now I think if the Nets would have actually freaked out and traded him earlier in the season, I don't think they would have gotten as much as they're going to get by right now.
He's been
So I think
unbelievable.
this
He's an
actually,
all-star starter. Like he's talent
yeah,
wise, like he's great, top 10 talent in the league. It's just like, can you reel him in and keep him focused on the
hmm
game and focused on being the best Kyrie he can be on the basketball court? That's another question.
yeah, and I think that this might work out in Brooklyn's favor. I'm just curious to see on what type of trade they're going to go for. Are they going to go for just the picks, or are they going to go for for hey, let's get the pieces and let's try to reboot around Kevin Durant and keep this thing going? I don't know. We'll see. All that remains to be seen.
1 week away. Fireworks are coming.